Hi everyone. I recently shared a talk at our NATA February meetup on the topic of leading like a human. It's a topic that I'm passionate about and explores my journey as a design leader. I wanted to share a recording for people in the wider NATA community. So this talk's called Leading Like a Human, but this talk isn't just for leaders. It's for people leading people, those who want to be future leaders, and those who want to influence better leadership moments for themselves. So why does human leadership matter? So I think there are many parts of leadership, so from innovation, strategy, collaborating with other disciplines, and then there's the people side, and this is where we're going to focus this talk on today. And it's these three common reasons why human leadership matters for our people. So firstly, change is constant. So for anyone who's worked in this industry long enough, you'll know that we've had to adapt. So the dot-com boom, e-commerce, mobile and responsive design, now AI, people need leading through change and uncertainty. And you have to deal with things like emotion, resilience, and motivation. And next, people need safety to do their best work. So how do you create a space where people have a voice and healthy feedback occurs? And do people trust you and trust your judgment? And lastly, work keeps moving whether we're ready or not. So how do you keep your team aligned, say no, avoid burnout, prioritize, and set up the conditions for people to do their best work? So why is human leadership important to me? So I lead a team of designers. I see the reality of the day-to-day, the challenges, the successes, and I try to stay authentic and be the kind of leader that aligns with my personal values. I'm now a qualified coach and I work with how people think and feel at work. So this gives me further knowledge and insights into the broader challenges people can face and how leaders can show up to support. And lastly, and not surprisingly, I'm a community builder. So I care about connecting people, growing and learning together, showing up for others and leading through communities. So what I'd like to do, I'd just like to share some examples showing moments where I've leaned into a human first approach when it comes to leadership, especially when it focuses on our people. And hopefully you'll be able to take some inspiration from this. So one of my biggest learnings when moving into leadership was growing emotional awareness. So regulating my own emotions and understanding how to notice and support the emotions of others. So this is often referred to as emotional intelligence. So this is beyond the craft, so the people relationships, working conditions, pivots, challenging stakeholders, difficult people, decisions you don't agree with, the list goes on. So a handy framework to consider is Daniel Goleman's emotional intelligence model. So this covers things like self-awareness, so the ability to recognize your own emotions, so the strengths, the weaknesses, and how they might impact other people. There's self-regulation, so in controlling those emotions and adapting to change. There's motivation, so understanding when someone's personal drive or passion and how that might change. Empathy, so understanding the emotions of others, traits, and how they respond to certain situations. There's the social skills, so managing relationships and finding common ground to move forwards. And you'll notice how I've embedded these key components into my approach as we explore some exercises later on in this talk. So here's 3 recent problems that I've recently navigated. So firstly was changing in team behaviour, so setting expectations, aligning on how we work as a team and how we deliver design. Next is one-to-one, so I'm sure you've had this challenge over and over again, so how do we make these moments impactful and supportive? And then lastly is self-reflection, so how do we create the conditions for people to grow and learn from their day-to-day experiences? So we're going to step through each, and I hope you're ready because I think there's going to be a few Miro boards coming your way. So the first problem was setting expectations as a team, so how we work as a design function. And we themed these into 4 Ps. So this was positivity, process, participation, and patterns. And we tried a few ways to tackle this as a team in the past. So from presentations in kind of yearly kickoffs, direct feedback to the team, and we created OKRs, but we weren't really seeing the results that we wanted. So what was we aiming for? So positivity, so how might we proactively problem solve and adapt to challenges, so embracing a growth mindset. And then there was process, so how might we plan effectively and share best practice around team process and ceremonies. Participation, so how might we design in the open, communicating our ideas and promoting opportunities for feedback and alignment. So that could be through huddles and showcases. And then patterns. So how might we create consistency and quality through reusable patterns and shared standards aligning with our design system? So we introduced a team promise, so a way for people to own a shared commitment, something that felt a little bit more human and we could embed in our day to day. So these digital cards were introduced to the team, enabling us to share and refer to them. So we included them on Miro boards and in presentations, and then we also generated a physical pack as well. So this highlighted examples and ways to demonstrate them, and also providing links to resources and training and guidance as well. So rather than feeling dictated to, trying to experiment with a human first approach where people could feel that ownership and accountability. So the next problem was the one-to-one. So a bit of a statement here, most one-to-ones are boring. So kind of status updates disguised as conversations. So a one-to-one is a leadership moment, it's not a meeting. So the problem is not all one-to-ones are the same. So people want different things from them, and you need to be prepared to adapt and shape these sessions. So what does the person need and what do they value? So let's share what good one-to-one look like. So I think it's creating space for meaningful conversations, continuous feedback, career growth and focused, and it unblocks challenges. So some examples there. So I think in the past I've built a one-to-one together with the individuals. So co-creating a one-to-one and creating a workshop style to figure out what that one-to-one might look like for that individual. And then changing environment as well. So I mean, have you ever stepped out the office to have a one-to-one? Just getting out the office, getting that new environment helps you kind of disconnect from kind of work and really embrace like a new environment to unlock different ideas. And what does a bad one-to-one look like? So maybe these are status updates. So there are other ceremonies for this, like stand-ups or showcases. Maybe if they're constantly moved or rescheduled. I don't know if you have that where you've joined a one-to-one and 1 minute in, someone's sent you a message to reschedule. You don't really feel that care. There's a lack of engagement, so maybe the person isn't fully present. It feels like a one-way conversation, so good one-to-ones, the individual should lead that conversation. And withholding feedback until annual review, so maybe there isn't those continuous feedback loops and you get kind of a surprise at the end of a year. So let me share an example where I recently reimagined a one-to-one. So when the team came back in January, I took the opportunity to extend their next one-to-one and host a bit of a collaborative workshop. And we called this Setting the Course for 2026. So it was a coaching-led template which focused on well-being, purpose, and growth. So it aligned with OKRs as well. So reviewing current progress and setting up new goals for the future. So this template prompted focused conversation, so it allowed the team to self-reflect and share openly and honestly. And I think as a manager as well, it gave me deep insight into their aspirations and ways in which I could support, so allowing me to give feedback and influence growth. And it gave them a sense of ownership and clarity. And I think it's this type of care you don't often see in leadership. So I then extended this to other leaders at Sage by sharing this template and influencing others to try. And I think we spoke at the beginning about influencing better leadership moments for yourself. So why might you not try something like this in your next one-to-one to bring it to your leader and maybe dictate that narrative? And I think this is where leaders can help support each other as well. So another example is the one-to-one framework for managers that I crafted. Again, this was a tool that I used myself and extended onto the team. So this was built using the one-to-one pip deck. So this resource helped managers focus on different areas from one-to-one conversations. So it could be building new relationships. It could be creating a safe space for honest conversations. It could be strengthening relationships and helping people kind of build their network. It could be learning from past experiences, so empowering that reflection. Or it could be understanding their career growth. So this template aims to help leaders plan a little bit more strategically before going into those one-to-one conversations, helping them prepare, but then also learn from the conversation. So as you can see here, the template included prompt cards that you could select included then some coaching questions that you might want to ask the individual. And then there's also a space to learn from the conversation as well. So kind of what came up in the conversation, what might you do differently next time, or how might you kind of act from what you spoke about. So I just wanted to share a couple of more exercises that I've used for my teams and shared with other leaders as well. So you'll see a bit of a theme here where I'm using Miro as a collaboration tool and crafting coaching-led templates which people can run with their teams or as an exercise on their own. So this next one's the team cool down. So this is a bit of a retro style session where the team can come together each week and share wins, support challenges, and also highlight team improvements as well. So I think a big thing for this to be successful is creating psychological safety in the team and that trust, so we can have those honest and open conversations. It's quite interesting because it can highlight things like, I think maybe someone in the team's had a sick child, so they're not being as productive that week, so they might be feeling a little bit down or drained, and we can highlight that, we can offer that support and see where we might want to lean in and support that individual. There's a space of recognition as well, so how are we recognising where the team are supporting each other or the work that we're delivering? It gives that space to highlight that and celebrate. And it can just be a little bit of an area to vent as well, just to kind of get things off our chest and be a space to just share openly and again understand where people in the team can support. So the next template is called the weekly reflection and reset, and this can be used by team members to empower their own self-reflection. So I don't think as people or as leaders or as teams we self-reflect enough. So calendars are packed with meetings and we deprioritize focus and learning time. So I think I'd encourage you to block moments to reflect, helping you build self-awareness and better understand your emotions and behaviors as well. So this is a great tool where you can kind of score kind of how you're feeling that week, highlight how it's going, and then pick out the things that are going well, maybe some of the challenges. And this is where it uses a bit of a reflective model as well, where you can kind of understand a situation a little bit deeper, maybe understand like your emotion, your feeling, your behaviours, how you was acting, and then you can plan and analyse how you might do things differently or other opportunities as well. So using a bit of a reflective model. And then there is a bit of a section at the end as well, which is optional, which you can start then taking that into action. So you might want to craft some SMART goals off the back of that and create some goals for the next week or the next month as well. So just to summarise, why is it important to lead like a human? So you've seen some examples there of how human leadership is showing up in my day-to-day. So I think, don't forget your people. So how are you supporting your team? How are you creating the conditions for open and honest conversations? And how are you experimenting and learning from what support people need from you? And how are you leading through others as well? So that multiplier effect as a leader. So allowing people to be autonomous and grow, but providing the touch points to coach and support and leaning in with more direction when that's needed. And how are you building trust within your team as well? So making them feel heard and spotting those opportunities to align with their growth and their purpose as well. So just before we finish, I'd just like to share an opportunity. So I'm now officially a qualified coach, and for a short time I'm going to be opening up a couple of coaching slots for the community for free. So just to clarify, this isn't mentorship, it's not kind of portfolio reviews or me sharing my experiences. It's coaching, so it's a space for you to reflect and find a way forward within yourself. So maybe working towards a goal or overcoming a challenge, maybe setting your course for 2026. So if you are interested and want to chat about that or any of the content from today, please connect with me on LinkedIn. And let's have a chat or have a natter. And if you want to access some of the Miro templates, you can download them from the Miroverse as well. So thank you for listening. Hope that was useful. And maybe when you get back to work tomorrow or maybe next week, how can you pick one moment and think about how you might make it more human or influence change in others around you? Thanks for listening.